Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Bountiful Oasis. I'm doing a video on a different day this week. When I normally do my videos on Sunday, it was raining and I was gone a big part of the day for some volunteer stuff I was doing. And I am committed to bringing you a video every week. So I'm just going to give you a little tour today, give you maybe some garden thoughts, and we are going to talk about foraging just a little bit. Right now, we are mid-July. The temperatures haven't been too bad so far. It's nice and cool this morning, but we are going to start getting some 100+ degree days for the next little bit. So that means I need to get out early in the morning, get what I can done in the garden, and then be done outside for the day early, because I'm not getting anything done after work right now because it's too hot. And my thought is, if you don't keep yourself healthy and if you overheat yourself, you're no good to work in your garden for the rest of the day, rest of the week, whatever. So we are working on getting out early. First thing I'm gonna show you today is some elderberries that we planted not last summer. We put them in the ground the summer before last. We saw that you could just take a cutting, like basically a stick, off of an elderberry, put it in the ground, and it would root and it would grow. Well, it worked. We give it a try and it did work. So I'm going to show you that today. We love to forage. We love to go get elderberries, choke cherries, wild plums. I am sure there's some other things we could forage around this area, but those are mainly what we get. But I will tell you, we do know some places to go, and mostly they're in the ditches growing wild around here. But for whatever reason, the state, county, whoever is starting to cut, like they're taking all the brush down in some of these ditches. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I don't know what it is. It's not a visibility thing where these ones are particularly located. But if it's going to continue to get harder, we're going to have to try, because we love those things, we're going to have to try and grow those on our own. Mostly the elderberry, we kind of thought, man, that would make a good windbreak, hedgerow type thing that would block all kinds of things, including pesticides or, poison type things from our stuff. So we stuck some in the ground and we let them grow. I'm going to show those to you now. So we are kind of on the far edge of the property. We are on the other side of the garden. We're on the outside of the fence on the other side of the garden. So here, and as you can see, we've got other kinds of wild things growing up in here too. Some weeds and such, wild sunflower. This really bright green stuff is new growth on the elderberries. But this has, like I said, this will be the third summer this is in here, and it is just really gotten thick and full. I think we put 3 or 4 stalks just cut. We just basically took something like this, cut it, and put it in the ground. We didn't dig it or anything. We just cut it and put it in the ground. But look how beautiful elderberries are when they're in bloom. They're just nice, full, thick, white little flowers. And the berries themselves are very, very tiny. And they're a little difficult to work with, which explains why if you're going to buy elderberries, dried elderberries, whatever the case may be, they're very expensive. I mostly just juice them and then use the juice for whatever I'm gonna use it for. Elderberries are very full of antioxidants and are supposed to have a lot of health benefits. They don't taste very good though. So you typically tend to use them in other things. So this is what we did. We just have this little small section here, and we are just really just on the other edge, like just over the line from our property, but they didn't care if we planted these here. And if they someday don't like them, they just have to take their equipment and mow them down. But we keep this area back here mowed for multiple reasons. Keeps things clear, keeps like predators from hiding, things like foxes and coyotes and stuff. It gives them less areas, places to hide. And if we keep it mowed, nobody's gonna spray it. So we just do our best to keep this area back here mowed. My property line is about right here. It's just on the other side of this post here. So we're just, like I said, they didn't care if we planted them there, so that's what we did. So that's what our elderberries look like. Just a nice little bush, and they'll just continue to expand and get bigger and bushier. We haven't talked about putting more in yet. We may, but we do need to figure out, like, if we do want to plant some choke cherries, stuff like that. Here we find better choke cherries just about a mile or two north of us than we do the ones that grow directly around us. So that's another consideration. All right, we're gonna go on in the garden here now. As you can see, we're getting into the messy time of the year for us. Every year we get a little better at keeping things down the more ground cover we get. But what I'm going to show you right now, I want to show you how well the pumpkins are doing. We did have a few die. We've got a lot of squash bugs out here this year, so hopefully the majority of our pumpkins can survive that. But they are just going crazy. These are all pumpkins right here. Whew, the mosquitoes are bad today. It has been humid and damp, so we are going to have a lot of mosquitoes. But can you see all of the blossoms in there? We're going to have several different kinds of pumpkins for ourselves and for others. So we should, these right down here are the sugar pie pumpkins, and we do have some pumpkins set on. So that means we should have pumpkins. And if I only have a few sugar pie pumpkins, these are the regular little pie pumpkins that are like a pound or two, that is okay. The rain has made the pigweed grow about at least a foot a week here. And these are Cinderella pumpkins. So hopefully those make it. They're looking a little rough. And then we've got, over here we've got jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. And you can tell the areas that we have mulched really well look much better. But I also don't spend a ton of money on that kind of stuff, so it's just done as we have the stuff to do it. Eventually, we'll get more of this covered. But these are jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. Again, lots and lots and lots of blossoms. Lots of pollinators coming. The pollinators are really, really active. They just are doing their jobs as they should. Another reason to have diverse things in your garden, because you get all the pollinators coming in. You don't have to attract them just when you have. Let's check on our tomatoes and see how they're doing. Well, these guys are just, these tomatoes right here just seem to keep getting bigger. They're not ripening up at all. So we're good for those for a little while. Got more tomatoes sitting on. So hopefully, but do you remember how these tomatoes looked when I first pruned them and tied them up? Now this particular plant is over half as tall as I am. They really took off once I did that, and I need to get out here and do some more work and tying on them. That may happen tomorrow. Today I'm gonna do some weeding. You see, just they really for as much as I cut out of them, they are really full and bushy. So I need to get all of this up off the ground. I am gonna have to get out here and get them sprayed with the calcium too, so that I avoid blossom end rot. I doesn't look like I have any yet on the tomatoes that are already set on. So I might be okay, but I'm still gonna do it. And the peppers are getting nice and big. We're getting blossoms set on the peppers. Nice weed-free area here. Ah, look at this. Look at this. What we got right there. What kind are you? Don't know where my tag went. I tagged all of these, but nice, long, thin pepper there. And whatever it is, it's a hotter pepper, because the hotter peppers are down on this end. Look how nice and big and bushy this pepper plant is here. And the leaves are really, I think the leaves are pretty. And of course we're getting some blossoms set on there as well. This pepper, the sriracha pepper, it's getting some new growth. It's a little late in the year, we're mid-July, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave it just to see how it does. It's not hurting anything by taking up the space there. We have plenty of space, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm going to give you a quick look at the cucumber plants here. They are really taking off. They're going crazy. If you grow cucumbers on a trellis, I just keep, as the branches get longer, I just keep feeding them up on the trellis. Look at all the blossoms. Look at all the blossoms. And I planted a lot of cucumber plants. I do not know what I'm going to do with all these cucumbers if we get as many as it looks like we're going to. And we've got lots of little ones sit on. I have picked a couple of cucumbers already. Pull this up. Just feed that through there. The only ones that aren't real big are the burpless munchers, but that could be like, it seems like everything I plant on that further end of the trellis doesn't seem to get as big. So and the center of this hoop, I need to clean it out. I'm gonna finish working on that today, but the loofahs, These are loofah squash, and they are taking over, and they'll take over an entire trellis if I would let them. Just a few plants. They really get big, and the blossoms are nice and huge and yellow. Oh, we got some problems with this squash plant here. It is having a problem. Oh, well, that could explain that. The branch has rotted and died off. Hopefully we don't have a squash bug problem over here. I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna pull this out of here, because this plant looked nice and healthy yesterday, but I'm gonna pull this whole thing out and just get it out of here, because I do have a whole nother plant growing right there, but we do have a lot of yellow squash on. I'm gonna pick some of this morning, and a rather large zucchini, but I'm gonna get some of this picked this morning before it gets too hot out, and haul it to town with me in case somebody would maybe like some. So a lot of pollinator action going on in there. And the thing with squash is it grows so fast that if you have to replant partly through the year, you can. Those are ready to pick. And I think that's all I'm going to show you for today. I'm going to get a little bit of weeding done before I have to go in and clean up and head to work. And call it a day, because we're going to have 4 or 5 days over 100 degrees. So we're going to have to kind of pay attention to stuff, but not be outside in it if we can help it. Thanks so much for joining me on this little mini tour of the garden today, weedy as it may be. Hopefully I can get things cleaned up and show you it better when I don't have so much mess out here. We'll see if that happens this year. Mostly I just kind of stay just sort of caught up with the weeding. And it's okay as long as it doesn't completely take over. I have to be okay with it because I use the time I have to do what I can. And I'll see you on the next one.